Hello and welcome to the Silver King's War. I'm Michael Sievers, the writer, producer, and creator of this podcast series about my father's Second World War as a B-26 bombardier. Today we are in Who is Della, which is the fourth and final play in the Silver King sequence. This is Act 2, entitled I Am Della, and this is Scene 6, New York City. It begins with Michael, the narrator, who is the Silver King's son. This scene is the extraordinary lobby of the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. Della Martin, Viola Powell, and Stanley Silverfield have just completed a round-trip Atlantic crossing on the Queen Mary and settled into their hotel suites. They're sitting in the lobby, admiring the scene and the excitement of the city, and discussing where to have dinner as Stanley stands to greet visitors. This is Michael admiring his father's imagined interest in traveling the world after his war, and also reflecting on a trip that he made with his wife Kelly on the Queen Mary II in crossing the Atlantic in October of 2018. Stanley rode the Queen Mary to his war in September 1944 and returned home on it in September 1945. He shared those stories with Della and Viola and marveled at how beautiful the ship was in 1959. They visited London and Paris with the help of travel professionals, and each trip meant trinkets and gifts for the Shepherd family. Della, Viola, and Stanley will travel to Washington, D.C. from New York City in early November. They will meet James Shepherd and Frank Ober Jr. for the ceremony to contribute Glenn Martin's papers to the Library of Congress. But now this happy trio will spend much of October in New York City, seeing Broadway shows, listening to jazz at Stanley's favorite clubs, visiting the Metropolitan Museum of Art, the Museum of Modern Art, the famed Guggenheim Museum designed by Frank Lloyd Wright, and visiting with family, Stanley's family. Della and Viola are about to meet Aunt Sylvia and Uncle Mike Erhlich, Stanley's favorite relatives. Aunt Sylvia is the youngest sister of Stanley's mother, Sarah Bell Lipsitz Silverfield. As the lights go up on this scene, the group is excited to chat about meeting one another and what their evening holds. And it begins with the king. Aunt Sylvia, damn, you're a lovely sight. I missed you.
Hello, Stanley. Let me look at you. You're a handsome Silverfield, for sure.
And Uncle Mike. Stanley, it's been too long. We haven't seen you since you moved to Los Angeles. Hello, Uncle Mike. Yes, it's been a while. I have much to share. Let me begin with introductions. This is Miss Della Martin and her companion, Miss Viola Powell.
Hello, Miss Martin and Miss Powell. Stanley has shared wonderful stories about you.
Hello, Miss Martin and Miss Powell. We've been looking forward to your visit.
Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Erhlich, it's so nice to meet you. Stanley raves about you and this city. Viola. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Erhlich. Your Stanley is definitely a city man. Sylvia. Please call me Sylvia. May we call you Della and Viola?
And please call me Mike. Aunt Sylvia, where shall we dine tonight? I will ask the concierge to make a reservation.
Stanley. Have you taken Della and Viola to the Oak Room Supper Club at the Algonquin Hotel?
Not yet, Aunt Sylvia. Shall we go there tonight?
Yes. I think Frank Sinatra's performing there this week. You're a fan, aren't you, Stanley?
Aunt Sylvia, you know I am. Are you kidding me?
Not tonight, Stanley.
This is the end of Scene 6, entitled New York City, Act 2, I Am Della, of the play Who is Della? And you are listening to the Silver King's War.